getting the right people for the job is getting difficult, and it's going to get much more difficult, because expectations of the guest, or when they come to the hotel, it's changing day by day.
Hello, welcome back to the World of Hospitality podcast. We have with us Mr. Parag Shah, who is a general manager at Grand Mercure.
Thank you.
And he has been in the industry for more than 2 decades, as per my experience. And I welcome him for the podcast. Sir, I would like to understand your views from the business point of view, because Bengaluru is India's third largest city contributing for hospitality after Mumbai and Delhi. It is growing by 20-24% ARR, and that way it's a really growing market. So, what I understand from your point of view, as an industry first and then as an hotel second, the same thing. How are you finding this opportunity to capitalize on, and how do you see the growth turning towards Bangalore or southern regions, and what measures you are taking as your particular hotel to grow in this segment?
Sure. So firstly, I'll speak about myself. I have been in the industry for almost 2 decades, what you rightly mentioned. So being a hotelier, I have worked with a lot of cities in the country. And in Bangalore as a market, I've been for little more than 1.5 years. Talking about the business, like you rightly mentioned, Bangalore comes third in terms of business perspective. Obviously, Bombay, Delhi becomes first and second, and then comes Bangalore. And Bangalore has been growing steadily over 18 to 20% year on year in terms of growth. A lot of more potential coming in as a city. One of the reasons is because Bangalore being an IT hub.
Absolutely.
That's where the business is coming more and said to be the Silicon City. For India, and then the business is flowing in continuously. There are a lot of new IT parks coming in the city. The city is growing more. It's expanding its boundaries.
Hosur and the other areas.
That's correct. The new development which is happening is more towards the airport side.
Airport side.
That's where all your big IT companies like Google is coming in. Apple is bringing
Putting its
more,
center.
huge. And there's a lot of potential for hotels as such. They are just expanding. Every hotel chain is coming up with new hotels. What I know is in next 3 years, there are at least 18 to 20 new hotels which are planned, right from all the brands like Accor, Marriott, Hilton. They are just expanding. So there's huge potential for hoteliers as such, and the market is growing in.
Sir, from the management perspective, for the hotel management point of view, how do you see that a GM, because we just had a GM's conclave as well, I guess you are the panel as well there. So how do you see that the role of GM, general manager, has changed over a period of time? Because it was more of a central role earlier. Now it has a lot of dynamic elements coming in picture because of AI, technology, social media, digital marketing coming in picture in last 5 to 7 years, so to say. So role has become very dynamic. So a GM has to have a lot of things plugged in terms of serving the entire requirements for that particular hotel, whatever the hotel that they are heading. So what changes that you have seen in last few years, because you have got rich 2 decades experience in this sector?
So what I have seen is, general manager's role initially used to be more of an operations head, so managing the hotel operations. But now I think, over the last few years, role of a general manager has become very dynamic in terms of since he's a business leader, he's like the owner of the hotel, and he has to run the show. So right from managing the operations to understanding the market, to understanding the new business which is coming in the city, being with the sales team, stepping out on calls, getting in new business, handling crisis. That's something which is, how do I say? It's very unpredictable these days.
Even positioning of the hotel, maybe as a brand, even that comes under the purview of a general manager, because you have to defend your brand, you have to present your brand, you also have to project your brand in the right way. So I guess that also is something to do with general manager's role.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, general manager, when you work for a brand, you become a brand leader or a brand champion.
And a custodian of a brand in a way.
Absolutely, and these big brands, they expand their verticals in terms of getting more hotels is based on the success of the current hotels. Where GM becomes an entrepreneur to run the show. And like you rightly mentioned, is being a brand champion, and you become the custodian, and that's how you imbibe everything in the hotels.
Yeah. So from your point of view, with respect to the evolution of industry in last, let's say, 2 decades, as we have been seeing this trend. So how do you see the industry has shaped hospitality particularly, and from a general manager's point of view, because from that angle you have to go at a 30,000 feet high and look at everything around, not just one thing. It may be housekeeping, it may be the front office, it may be operations, as you rightly mentioned, it may be even the brand narrative and some kind of a damage control that happens as well. You also have to have a very clear worldview of the things. So now from that point of view, how does this change has impacted this role as a professional, from digital coming in picture, AI coming in picture, social media also intervening? So how do you see this role shaping up?
Uh, so over a period of time, what I can see or what I can foresee is, getting the right people for the job is getting difficult, and it's going to get much more difficult, because expectations of the guest, or when they come to the hotel, it's changing day by day, and with AI coming more into picture, the best thing what is happening is, things are getting much more easier in terms of operations. Guest personalization is becoming much more easier. I think that per se, it's getting much in a better way, but getting the right talent on board is becoming a little challenge. Otherwise, business wise, India as a market is growing. There's a lot of domestic market itself, which India produces, which helps the hotels or any other industry to sustain. There was a war and there was a big impact with the travel and hospitality, which was a couple of months ago. But I think now is the industry has absorbed it. And since India is a self-producing domestic market, I think the industry has become very comfortable.
So your specific views about the world of hospitality as a central platform to bring all the stakeholders together, and how do you find this exhibition has laid out itself from last 5+ years? Must have been here earlier as well, and maybe other cities, that we have exhibitions in Mumbai, Goa. Now we're coming up with Bangalore. After Bangalore, we're coming up with Ahmedabad from September onwards. So how do you see the way this exhibition has grown over a period of time, and your personal experience coming here year on year?
So to be very honest, this is just my second time with World of Hospitality. I've been to a lot of other exhibitions in past, but I think this is much more well organized. In terms of the way you pass on the information, the way it's set up, overall bringing the industry experts, making them speak, getting the right channel partners, which I have seen. I have done a walk around of the space, very nicely arranged. It's so well organized that you don't get confused, and every aspect of a hotel, in terms of what you want to buy or what you want to see for future, what you want to buy, is available here. I think it's very well organized platform. I must say that. To be honest, I think World of Hospitality has been very innovative year on year. So they are going with the new trend of podcast and getting into AI. I think it's a wonderful tool. One reason is because you're inviting obviously the experts to come and speak, and you're asking them open-ended questions. So you're just throwing the questions, so the person in front is not prepared. I think it's a good platform.
Thank you so much, sir, for your efforts. We really appreciate you coming in here.
Pleasure is mine.
Your time, and please keep coming for the next editions as well.
100%, I will. Thank you so much. Thank you.